YouTube live server may be busy or something.
Could be that app server too. Everything gotta work perfectly.
She needs to connect to
I'm gonna work after this will just start.
She should
There you
be
go. All right. Today's lesson is titled "Thy testimonies have I taken as an heritage forever." I'm gonna read the introduction first. Shalom, Israel, and thank you for gathering together for another weekly Sabbath lesson. Today we will search the scriptures and see that the Most High gave His people more than a religion, but a heritage. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading of His holy word. So, real quick, we're gonna go just get the definition real quick. I know we got kids in here. Do y'all know what a heritage is, boys? What is it, Corn?
A heritage is like passed on in the family.
Okay. That's a
Or
good
something that
definition.
happens in the past, like yeah, from the past.
Ebay, what you think? What you think is a heritage? Your own definition before you look at the what you think a heritage is.
Like a family tradition?
Okay, like a family tradition. Ladies?
Yeah, like part of who you are.
Part of who you are?
Yeah.
What you think?
Your inheritance.
Inheritance. Good. A lot of good answers. Nobody's wrong. So basically, like you said, something that's handed down from the past as a tradition. A national heritage of honor, pride, courage. Definition 2 says something that comes or belongs to one by reason of birth, an inherited lot or portion. So, when you think of today, when people say, what's your religion? They just basically asking you, are you a Baptist, or you study Islam, you study Christian, are you a Christian, are you Lutheran, are you Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah's Witness? These are all man-made religions though, but the Most High God never gave us quote-unquote religion. He gave us a heritage. He gave us a way of life, laws, statutes, commandments that we're supposed to live by. It's not, He didn't say go out, y'all, this portion of people be a Baptist, this portion of people study Islam. He never did that. That came as part of confusion with man. When sin entered into the world, that's when all of that started. So we're going to search the scriptures and see what exactly He gave us. We're going to start with the title of the lesson, Psalms 119 and 11. This is David. This is King David. So it says, "Thy testimonies have I taken as an heritage forever, for they are the rejoicing of my heart." So the word testimonies is basically witness, but this Bible is basically a testimony of the Most High. He gave His words to His prophets to spread to us. Moses started, of course, Moses when they exited out of Egypt. When He gave them the law, statutes, and commandments, that was a heritage that He was basically starting and giving to His people.
They got a precept that says, my word I gave to Jacob. When you were talking about how you gave it to the prophet.
Right.
He said, "Ye have I known, only known."
That's cool. But basically, the testimonies is basically the word of God. These are all testimonies. Yeah. And he said, this is David saying, "I have taken this as a heritage forever." Not for a little while, but for forever. We're supposed to hold on to this. It's something you should be proud of. Because when you ask any other nation of people that's not Israelites where they come from and what their heritage is, they'll tell you in a heartbeat. They'll tell you, they'll know exactly what their heritage is, and they're proud of it. But for some reason, as Israelites, when we ask our people that's maybe not in the word or not in the truth, they either don't know Or if they do know, they don't really take pride in it. They'll rather do what everybody else doing. They rather follow everybody else instead of taking the claim of their heritage and following what we're supposed to follow. And that's part of the reason why we've been scattered across the world and everything, because the Lord said, since y'all didn't want to do what I asked y'all to do, y'all don't have to follow after these other people, but y'all gonna be on the bottom. Y'all gonna serve these people since y'all want to be like them.
I got it quick.
Go ahead.
For example, right now, this is the first weekend of college football. A lot of Israelites ain't taking care of their heritage right now. We supposed to be keeping the Sabbath. We supposed to be keeping it, rejoicing it. It's a holiday. It's a holy day. They put more rejoicing football. Like it'll be a burden to come keep the Sabbath for some people right now. They man, we got to be blessed right now. Cause they got a game on TV right now. So don't put this man-made foolishness above with your heritage, man.
Exactly. We're going to go to Leviticus 19. Verses, we'll start at 1. We're doing 1 and 2. It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, ye shall be holy, for I the Lord your God am holy. Anybody know what it means to be holy? Think a little more. When he look at the words, when he says, ye shall be holy, insert another word there. Ye shall be what? I'm going to click on and give you some hints. Sacred. Sacred, a saint, a holy one. Basically, holy means to be separate. You're sanctified. You're different than everybody else. He said, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. So, he's telling us we need to be separate from the world, pretty much. I made y'all special. We're special unto the Lord. We're different than everybody else. He gave us something that he didn't give everybody. That's why we're holy. So, I'm going to go to Romans 7 and 12 to show you what makes us holy. I just basically told you, but we're going to read it out the Bible so we know that these ain't made up words. Romans chapter 7, verse 12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good. So what makes us holy, Corn?
Following the commandments.
Right. It says the law is holy and the commandment is holy. That's what makes us different from everybody. Why? Because he gave it to a certain people. He didn't give it to the whole world. Otherwise, you wouldn't be holy. You'd be like everybody else. Everybody would be the same, pretty much. Follow me so far? So, that's what makes us, I put in there, that's what sets us apart from the rest, is that we were given the laws. Let's show that he gave it to, we went over these scriptures before, but we have to keep, it ties into different lessons. But we're going to go to Psalms 147. Psalms 147, 19 and 20. He showeth his word unto Jacob. Who's Jacob?
Jacob is the Israelites.
Right.
Just to put yourself out.
Okay. So he showeth his word unto Jacob. Like you said, Jacob is the Israelites. Jacob, as a man, was the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's who all the tribes came from, his seed. Jacob came from Isaac. Isaac came from Abraham. So that's the lineage. It ain't got nothing to do with the spiritual thing or nothing like that. We are the actual seed. We are the bloodline of Jacob. So he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation. What is that saying? He hath not dealt so with any nation. One of the ladies. What's that saying?
No, he didn't give that commandments to
Exactly. So he didn't deal this way with anybody else in the world. No other families of the earth did he do this with. It says, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. So it's something special that he gave us. That's what set us apart. Holy. This is our heritage.
This ought to comfort you when you look around and you seeing how these other nations is prospering and they ain't keeping none of the law. Because as for his judgments, they have not known them. God ain't judging them right now. It's going to be a time when judgment day come. When we going to get the kingdom if we do right, if we in that number. But that's proof right now. While we get judged daily when we commit sin. The Lord judge us. He said, as for his judgment, they have not known them.
Exactly. So verse 19, when he's saying he's showing his word, his statutes, and his judgments, again, that's a heritage. That's a possession of ours. That's ours. He didn't give it to nobody else. Alright? Let's go to Joel 2:27. It says, and ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed. So again, this is precept upon precept showing you. He says, I am in the midst of Israel. He didn't say I'm in the midst of the world. I'm in the midst of America. He said, I'm in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God. We can't skip over these words. He said, your God. That's a possessive term. Your.
This is where you go to when they point to John 3:16 when they say God so loved the world. You say, well, we'll read Joel 2:27.
And he didn't just stop and say your God. He said, and none else. So why would he put that there?
He's in the midst of Israel.
So when they say God to love the world, he just meant Israel?
The world of Israel. Because Israel was scattered all over where?
The world.
There's
So
different worlds.
he loved the world. We scattered all over the world.
If you look up the definition of the term world, we can do that real quick.
It gives them a clear understanding when they go back and read Joel 2. This world is a world of world.
Look right here. It could be a part or aspect of human life or natural features of the earth in particular. It could be a region or a group of countries, a period of history. It could be a group of living things, the people, places, activities that do with a particular thing. So, for example, you got, and when you're talking about sports, and you say, I'm in the sports world. You're not talking about no other world but the world of sports. You got the animal world.
They had ABC, the wide world of sports. Y'all remember it was called? It was called.
So you have to understand the definition in the context of what is being talked about. A world is basically a distinct. It could be a group of people with like-minded, that think the same pretty much. So
The animal kingdom.
Matter of fact, let me just go to it just real quick.
There's so many different species. It's like a world within a world.
We're just gonna read it just to show, because that's a good question. I mean, that's a good point. 45. Verse 17. But Isaiah 45:17 is going to explain the world. It says, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. So what did he just call Israel? A world. He said, ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. Verse 17 said, but Israel shall be saved. He didn't say, but the world shall. He didn't say everybody in the world shall be saved. But he's calling Israel a world.
This is actually the precept of Joel, because it said you should not be ashamed in Joel.
Exactly.
So that literally goes hand. You got to read this to get more understanding on Joel is going to help you understand.
The Bible was always directed to one. He was talking to one set of people always. So once you understand that and get past that hurdle, everything else starts to make sense in the Bible. The dots start to connect. Because you like, well, why would they say this here? But then it said, because that's the way the Bible was created. It's a puzzle. Precept upon precept.
Joel said he's going to be in the midst of Israel. Isaiah said you're going to have an everlasting salvation. That they talking about the person that's going to be in the midst of Israel. Going to be the one that's going to be their everlasting salvation.
So again, we're talking about our heritage. So let's see. We're going to see what he gave us as far as he gave us a land. We already know what that land is, but let's read it. Exodus 6. I think we're doing 5 through 8. So, and I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. So they were in Israel, actually in Egypt still at this time. They haven't been saved yet. They haven't been led out by Moses yet. So this is the Lord talking to Moses. He's saying, I heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. Wherefore say unto the children of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under your burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm and with great judgments. So if we thinking in terms today, what can we substitute Egyptians with when he says, I will bring you out from under the burdens of Egyptians? What word can we substitute that with now?
Edomites?
Let's
Romans?
bring it more in today's terms.
Oh,
Where we live.
What do the non-Israelites call it?
American?
Exactly. I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Americans. But you're right, it's the Edomites. They're the ones in control. But remember, he said, I will send you to Egypt again. This is spiritual Egypt.
Go to 5. He said, I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel. What do they protest? They out there marching. They groaning in the street. Lord, they killing us down for no reason. Lord,
Exactly.
the enemy is not
We're
being
in bondage.
judged. We just heard how he don't judge no other nation. They killing us all in the streets and nobody's here to judge these people. They getting away with murder.
So the same way that Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt at that time is going to be the same way we're going to get redeemed again during this captivity. We're going to be saved from all this, the groaning and the bondage.
These other nations ain't groaning. They coming over here and prosper. The Israelites are the ones over here complaining about the injustice.
Verse 7. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a God. And ye shall know that I am the Lord your God, again, which bringeth you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. And I will bring you in unto the land concerning the which I did swear to give it to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. And I will give it to you for an heritage. I am the Lord. So, verse 8 is the point. He gave us a land. That's part of our heritage. This is not our land. As much as people love America and swear up and down it's the best country in the world, which right now is the most prosperous country, but this is not the Holy Land. This is not the land that God chose. This is not what he gave us for our heritage. He gave us, we all know, Jerusalem. We're about to read it. So that's part of our heritage, is our land. Let's go to you want to say?
I was just going to say, that's why we prayed towards Jerusalem. We remembering the motherland.
Exactly.
It's like family and inheritance.
Imagine all the Israelites all over the world. If they are north of Israel, they face the south. If they south of Israel, they face the north. We on the west of Israel, so we face to the east. Every time they pray, all your prayers is being directed towards the motherland. All the Israelites scattered all over the world. It's a beautiful thing, man, if you think about it.
Now, what have you always heard, or what has been taught that is the motherland? Anybody know? You know anybody?
The motherland?
The motherland. Have you ever heard of anybody say what the motherland is to you?
Like a ship?
Well, like an actual landmass.
Like where
On the map.
we come from.
What did they
We
say
know
black people?
now according to
Where
the
do
book.
they use black people come from?
Oh yeah,
What?
Africa.
Right, Africa. So Africa is always the go-to answer when you say, oh, that's the motherland, that's the homeland. Everybody come from Africa, right? That's what everybody says. We're going to read the Bible and see what the Bible says. Verse 26, but Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. What's the motherland according to the Bible? Jerusalem. Jerusalem is above all lands on the earth. That's the land that God chose. If you there's a verse that's I'm not exactly sure where it is right now off the top of my head, but God chose. He has a favorite in everything. He has a favorite land, a favorite tree out of all the trees, a favorite people out of all the people, a favorite this, a favorite that. He chose things that's his. It's like, this is my favorites out of everything. So out of the lands, he says Jerusalem is the motherland. That's the land that's above everything. Yeah.
But which is above free is to mean where you won't be in bondage.
Right. So again, if anybody tells you that Africa is the motherland, you can go to Galatians 4:26 and say, well, according to God, who made the world, the motherland is Jerusalem.
Some people have a problem with God having favoritism. Everybody got favoritism.
Just like in your closet, if you got all your clothes, you got a favorite shirt in your closet. You might have bought all those shirts, but you got a favorite shirt,
You
a
like
favorite
your
pair of
shirt.
shoes,
Yeah, you
a
got
favorite
six
show
shoes.
on TV, a favorite this. God has favorites too. So you can't debate with what his favorites is though. That's the thing.
He made us all. How you gonna take? How the creation gonna be mad at the creator for having a favorite creation?
Exactly.
Play your role.
So again, that's our heritage, Jerusalem. We read the scripture before that's what he gave us for an inheritance. And he said that's the land that's above is free, and it's the mother of us all. Let's go to Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. And we're going to see what happened. Why is it that, what happened to us? Why is it that we don't know who we are? We don't know our heritage.
Yeah, why do we think Africa is the motherland, not Jerusalem anymore?
So Jeremiah 17 verse 4, he's a prophet. He said, and thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. So this, before it happened, it was prophesied. This is the reason why we don't know that Israel is the homeland. I'm not saying us, I'm saying as a whole, as a nation of people. If you ask 10 different black people, they're going to give you 10 different answers.
Why you see black people ain't keeping the Sabbath right now. If you go out on North Lamar, you're going to see blacks and Mexicans buying and selling. The Lord said, I'm going to take all that inheritance, the laws that y'all used to keep and defile me.
Sabbaths and everything.
Y'all don't want to keep them. I'm going to take it out of your memory.
This week, just passed, was the Feast of Trumpets. And I guarantee you, most Israelites today did not know that. They just in the midst of the living. They didn't know it was a feast day. That's our heritage. That's what he gave us. He gave us high Sabbaths to keep. So this is prophesying about today's time, saying, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. So again, this was something that was known that was going to be happening. This is where you can go to show people why they don't know. But guess what? That's what we're doing now, is we're remembering in our captivity who we are. Let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 1. And we're gonna start at 3. So it says, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. So these are two animals that he's comparing to us right now. These are two docile, pretty much base animals. They're not that smart. The ox, it says, but an ox knows his owner, and the ass or jackass or donkey his master's crib. They know where they come from. They know their land. If you was to drop them off in the middle of nowhere, they could wander their way back home. But after that, he says, "But Israel does not know. My people does not consider." So he's talking about the Israelites. He says Israel does not know. We don't know who we are, and the bad thing is our people don't even consider. We don't consider that we're the greatest people on the earth, that we are kings and queens. We don't consider it. You can tell by the way we act, what you see on TV, what you see in the streets, what you see in movies, everything. You can tell that we don't know we're the greatest. If we knew, we wouldn't do half the things we do. We wouldn't do none of the stuff that we're doing.
It says the ox knows his owner, meaning we don't even know who our owner is. We don't even know who our God is.
Exactly.
And the ass is master's crib. We don't even know our homeland. We don't know what God we serve. We serving all these any kind of gods, and we worshiping the land. We love the lands where we at. Them Jamaicans be taking so much pride in Jamaica and Haiti and Trinidad, Tobago. Y'all ever see the Olympics? They had brothers teasing the other brothers. The Jamaicans were teasing the USA blacks for dropping them. But y'all all the same. Y'all beefing just because y'all got dropped off the boat. One island before the next, brother. Y'all all the same. Y'all don't even consider the homeland. Y'all don't even consider the
You can even put that in terms of just in America. You got people from the South Side that flex and fight with people from the East Coast or West Coast. You want to know what West Coast, East Coast be. You can even take it to just in your state or in your city. People battling over streets and sides of the South Side, North Side, East Side. Y'all are all Israelites. All of y'all was slaves brought over here. Y'all just got scattered everywhere, but now you taking pride in the place where you were scattered? That don't make sense. That's why he said,
why we got here first, dog.
That's why he said, Israel does not know, my people does not consider. Verse 4 says, I, sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. So we just been going backwards ever since, man. And this is all the things that he's talking about us.
That's sad.
He called us a people laden with iniquity, seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. This is not good. We have to shed those titles from us and get back to where we were. Instead of going backwards, let's go back the other way. Let's go back towards the laws, towards God. Let's go to Mark chapter 7. So this is part of our problem right here. Mark 7 verse 9 says, and he said unto them, and this is Christ talking, full well ye reject the commandment of God that ye may keep your own tradition. So think about that for a second.
Go and read that, man. Make sure you pay attention.
And he said unto them,
Read it loud. Read the whole thing. Read verse 9 loud.
and he said unto them, full well, ye reject the commandment of God, that ye may keep your own tradition.
So, boys, what do you, let me start with you, babe. What does that mean to you? Full well you reject the commandment of God that ye may keep your own tradition.
That they're more worried about keeping their tradition than honoring God.
Right. What you said, Corinne?
Like, they're just like forgetting about God and they're just gonna keep their own stuff like
Give me an
What
example.
are some of the own traditions that we would rather keep than the commandments of God?
like Christmas and holidays.
All right, you could say that. What are some other things? He just said one earlier.
Like taking
Football
pride in
kickoff, college football kickoff. That's a tradition. Really. I mean, that's a tradition. It happens once a year, every year. It's a kickoff of football every
On
year.
Sabbath day. Now you got to make a decision. What the commandments say on the Sabbath is a holy convocation. We're supposed to gather together to learn the words of God. But my favorite team played at the same time. We keep the commandment. I mean, we come together. Somebody, you know, there's going to be some people out there that decide to go ahead and just do the game. They're going to keep their own traditions rather than keep God's tradition, heritage he gave us.
And he said full well. That means you full well know what you're doing. So it's a slap in God's face. It's a slap in the Most High and Christ's face. Christ, Most High, because he created us. Christ because he came and died for us. He came and died so you could be adopted back in, so you could make it to the kingdom instead of just destroying us. So full well, a lot of our people reject the commandment. That's part of the problem. Let's go to Colossians 2 and 8 because we were growing. Two and 8 it says. When somebody says beware, what does that mean? Beware.
What do you with me?
Caution.
Caution. Hey, look out.
It ain't a game if you hear the words be well.
Take heed. Look. Like that's me like a car coming across the street. You better, I'm saying beware. Look. There's a car coming.
Stop.
So look. He said beware. It's Paul, right? Yeah, it's Paul talking. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. Because he knew it was coming. It was already starting to happen really at that time, but especially now. Beware. There's people out here that are really tainting your heritage. You got people over in Jerusalem right now that say that they're the Jews, and we believe it. We think that they're the real Jews. Beware. What's some of the philosophies and vain deceits that they have used against us? Like you can just look at the education system alone. Our kids got to go through all these grade schools and learn about all this history.
What you say y'all had to do at school that you said you was one of the only kids that didn't do?
Like, do the Pledge of Allegiance.
And what up?
And like, they were like screaming, like,
No, you-
USA.
And no, you said y'all had they were singing the Texas song.
Oh yeah, the Texas flag. Like,
Yeah.
That's traditions of
yeah,
men.
that's weird. I wouldn't say.
We don't worship a flag. We worship God.
Exactly. So
You
these are
don't pledge
philosophies.
your allegiance.
Pledge your allegiance to the flag. I'm pledging my allegiance to a piece of cloth. Bro.
You know what allegiance means? Like,
You a line.
You're
Y'all
aligned.
coming together.
You with them.
All of us are here with the flag. The flag is symbolism.
What's going on today, right now, in the headlines? Colin Kaepernick, right?
Yes.
They giving him all types of flack because he sat down for the national anthem. And he's telling everybody why he's doing it, but yet they still are saying that he should do it. This is a black man. First of all, it should no Israelite really be standing for no American flag
That's traditions of men.
and all of that. Because the same flag, if you do your research in the history behind the national anthem and all that was written by a slave owner, the song itself.
They got the whole standing up on the flag thing. That's some type of philosophy because they're saying you're disrespecting the veterans if you don't stand for the flag. That's all philosophy and tradition of man.
So this Paul was warning us. He said, beware. So he was telling y'all, look, there's gonna be a people that's gonna be trying to lie to you. They're gonna feed you all this information that's false and make you believe it, and then tell you, no, what you read in the Bible is wrong. So let's go to Revelation 18 and 4. So, we were told, it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. What is the her? Who is the her that he's talking about?
Come out of her, my people.
Does it have to do
What'd
with
you say?
land?
America.
Oh. I was about to
But
say-
it was a point where we used to think come out of her, my people mean literally flee America.
Right. But he's not saying leave the land. He's saying come out of those vain philosophies, those vain deceits, those traditions. Come out of that, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins. He's telling you those are sins. Goes against the laws of God. Quit living like an American. Live like an Israelite. Even though we have to be here, this is our captivity. Yeah. If you go back and read the Bible, and we were always, the times we were in captivity, our people still kept, when they found out what they were doing wrong, they would stop doing it, and they would keep the commandments. That's what we have to do.
If we don't, we're going to receive the same plagues when God comes back to judge these countries for doing wrong. If we sitting up there aligned with those countries doing the same thing as these nations, then we're going to receive the same plagues that he came to give to them. You're going to receive them too.
Right. So this is the last book of the Bible. I'm telling you this. Come out of her. Okay, don't get no New Testament in this. And he's talking to his people. So
We got some people lost in those traditions too. Some of our people do it better than them.
exactly. Because you know we do it.
Red, white, blue, up from head to toe.
So we're gonna look into some of these some things he gave us as heritage. That these are laws, statutes, and commandments that he gave us, and we should be proud of these. This is what makes us holy. What makes us different. Numbers 15:38 says, "Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue." So number one, he's speaking to us. When he says to bid them, that means to command them, charge them.
He didn't say ask.
He said command them basically to make them fringes. That's why we wear our fringes. We need to get more fringes. We gotta do what we gotta do to fringe up our garments, man. Can't keep making excuses, including myself. Throughout our generations. So it's never stopped. As long as we're generating, as long as we're having generations of families, you're supposed to keep doing it. Verse 39 says, "And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them." So this is a reminder for us. If you wearing this out and about in the world, before you start to sin, you look down at your fringes and touch them, and you like, oh, I can't be doing that. I forgot. I'm an Israelite. You ain't forgetting. You just bringing that commandment to a remembrance.
Now you
it's
know
a spiritual
why.
thing.
You don't never supposed to do nothing just to do it.
Right.
This is explaining to you why you wear these shirts with fringes at the bottom of it. It's a purpose. What's the purpose, Corn?
In remembrance of the commandments.
Right. All these fringes, because we know there's more than 10 commandments, right? So all these fringes is representing all the commandments that we're supposed to keep. Because he said you're supposed to remember them, but not just remember them and do them. And that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye used to go a-whoring. So remember, before we came into the truth, before we knew about fringes, a lot of times what we would do is seek after our own heart and our own eyes. That's how we used to live. We just go by our own understanding. Well, I think this is right, so I'm
Mama
going
went
to
to
do this.
church, did this on this day, we just doing that on that.
This seems right to me. It's good in my heart.
If it feels good, we was going off feelings.
But
They
there's a
hit
scripture
that
that say
organ
the
a
heart is
certain,
most deceitful
they hit
thing.
that organ a certain way, give you a certain feeling. You ain't learned none of the commandments. But they hit that feeling. It felt good though. Nah, he said we looking down on these so we can learn to keep the commandments.
Exactly. It's a spirit. These are spiritual things. It's light things or small things to certain people, but this is spiritual.
You the blue.
Right.
What's that blue?
A ribbon of blue. So he's telling you exactly what to do. He's very specific. He wouldn't put this in here if he didn't want us to do it. He said the whole Bible is for our learning. Right?
So,
Why the reason they ain't say do it in the New Testament? Why you don't see the word put fringes on your clothes in the New Testament?
you should already be doing it.
Exactly.
Christ was doing it.
Wow. The commandments is in the Old Testament.
I was really trying.
They were
The New
reading,
Testament
they
was
were
not around
reading
yet.
the Old Testament in the New Testament. I mean, when they were living in the New Testament.
So again, this is heritage, stuff that's passed down to us, right? So now, we're going to go a little deeper. Deuteronomy 22, verse 5, dress code. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are an abomination unto the Lord thy God. What you about to say?
Let's say saying that a woman can't look like a man.
Read it again.
Well, first off, let's look. We read it, right? Let's start with the first, before the first part. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. I think it's very easy, or it's easier to identify what a woman's garment is, right?
'Cause, like, there's
What's a woman's garment?
like a dress.
A dress.
But like,
So should you wear a dress?
No.
Should you wear a skirt?
no.
Okay. But do you see that in today? Have they started to make that
Hey, we're
popular?
trying to push these inner black entertainment.
Have you not
on.
seen Young Thug's album cover?
Latest album.
Have you not seen
Tyler Perry?
Kanye West in a skirt at a concert?
Tyler Perry, that movie.
Madea, Martin Lawrence, one of my favorite comedians. He dressed up with what Jamie Foxx has
You
done.
think the
All
Lord
these great
care about
actors
he
have done.
we just acting? Nah, look, you think the Lord care?
That's an abomination to God. So that's very easy. But what's hard, if for some reason it says, the first part when it says, the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
But
What's that talking about?
that's
If we
not
just
about-
identify dresses and skirts as a woman's garment, what would we identify as a man's garment?
Like, it's just kind of hard. But there was like
Look at
this-
the bathroom signs. It'll let you know.
But
No, what is the male bathroom sign thing got
it's
on?
just
Like
like
a-
man, like
yeah.
like.
With what on?
Nothing on. I want to.
What you think? You think he naked in there?
No.
It look like he got on pants.
Pants. You gonna make it plain.
Women
so-
don't know that's pertaining to a man because that started like
It started around like
I know.
1956.
Yeah.
That's when they started doing that. There's probably people doing it before then too, but that's when it started becoming popular as far as in
They
America.
got 2 girls in our.
Y'all-
Because I can guarantee you, if you ask your older relatives, your great and great grandmothers, they weren't wearing pants.
they
like
never
that.
seen a woman in pants.
Because I've heard older women say it, like they be saying, "Oh, my daughters are not to wear pants in church and stuff like that." Like they told them, don't wear that type of stuff
But
because that pertains to a man. Means belong. It was made for men. Pants
Why
were
when
made.
you go to church, when you see people get dressed for church, why do women always have on skirts and the man have on regular church clothes?
Does it pertain?
Why you don't never see no woman throwing on no slacks and then going to church? They all got on a long dress when they go to church. See, they know the
What do you have on? What do you have
they
on
know the
pants? You have a
command.
zipper, right? On a lot of
They
pants.
know better.
What is that zipper for?
It's to keep your man.
Keep your man region in there, right? What is a woman unzipping?
She don't
Because
need to
have it,
stand
right?
and pee. This is the zipper for you to zip, stand, and pee. So why they got women pants now with zippers on?
that's weird. But I have something to say.
What?
There's 2 girls in our classroom that look just like dudes.
But guess what?
I
That's
thought
starting.
both of them were dudes.
That's starting to become a norm, though, right? Have you ever heard of the term britches? Your mama say, "Pull up your britches."
Yes.
Country folks. So let's look at this real quick. Verse 41. It says, "And thou shalt put them upon Aaron thy brother and his sons with him, and shalt anoint them and consecrate them and sanctify them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. And thou shalt make them linen breeches." That's where the term breeches come from. It's actually pronounced breeches. But you know, country slang term.
If you look
start
up the
saying
word breeches, it tells you it's something from the waist to the kneecap. Well, maybe to the shin a little bit.
Exactly. But it says, "Thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness, from the loins even unto the thighs." The loins start up here to the thighs. So these were pants to cover yourself, so you wouldn't be naked. Right? Let's see who he said this was for. He said, "And they shall be upon Aaron and upon his sons when they come into the tabernacle of the congregation." He said nothing about the daughters, nothing about the wives. He said that should be upon Aaron and his sons. Pants was never made for them. They don't say, there's all, of course, when you go in the stores, you got the women's section, you got the men's section. You're going to have women's pants.
First of all, pants is revealing. When you put on pants, you can see all your thighs and your butt and all your stuff. All of that's supposed to be covered up on the woman.
We're about to go to that.
It says you don't supposed to show the nakedness of the.
We're about to go there right now. Right, check that.
Wait, where are we?
Hold on.
Here you go.
So, like he just said, you're not supposed to show that stuff, right? That's a commandment. Let's see. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel. That's modest. When you have the ladies in our dresses that's covering them up, that's modest apparel. You're not supposed to be like when Megan Good had that whole thing going where they was asking her why she married to a pastor and her husband allows her to go to these what do you call it, these award shows and all that other stuff with a split dress that's got your breast out, it got your everything out, but that's not modest. That's not covered up.
You making people. That lady's a married woman, and you know how hard it is. Some people might not even be thinking about looking at none of that, and she comes walking out with everything just.
What's that? The first thing?
Now you like, oh, what is?
And I'm gonna show you how important it is.
She's bringing sin.
Let me finish that verse out real quick. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls or costly array. So you're not supposed to be just like, it's okay to, deck yourself out, have some nice jewelry, because we were always kings and priests. We had that type of stuff. But he's saying, don't let that be like
your glory.
Your glory. You know what I'm saying? Don't just be worried about what you get.
You know how some people out there that they got the nicest clothes.
They doing it for all the wrong
Everything
reasons.
is fresh, but they don't know none of the commandments of God. That's what it's saying. Don't be that person, man.
Shamefaced, man. Modesty. You're supposed to be bashful. Supposed to, just kind of be low key. It's okay.
It's a time.
First of all, we in our captivity, man. We in captivity. We trying to learn the laws. This is not your time to be trying to shine right now, man. We not shining. We in
it's
captivity.
a time and place for everything.
So when we get the kingdom again, yeah, we gonna be back on top. We gonna be shining, streets of gold. Everything gonna be gold. Gold, everything, man. But I want to show the ladies how big of a role that they have in this truth, because I think sometimes it may seem like they don't have an important role, but they do. It's very important. Leviticus 19, I'm going to go to, where is it? Here we go, verse 29. It says, do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness. What is that saying? I'm going to let the ladies answer. What's that saying?
Don't teach your daughter, or teach your daughter not to be whorish.
Y'all know how to.
But what does it mean to not prostitute your daughter?
Like, don't sell her out.
Right. So guess what? What does a prostitute do? If anybody's been to Houston, Texas on a Friday night and you see close to the strip club, I mean, it's pretty much everywhere, but I'm looking at a place where I go.
They sell sex for money.
Yes, but what do they have on though?
Oh,
They have on revealing clothes. They're selling their bodies. They're advertising themselves. They're prostituting themselves out. They want a man to stop so they can pay him for a sexual activity, right? That's what he's saying. Don't prostitute your daughters out like that. So when he's giving you a dress code, this is why. You might not know you're doing it, and you didn't know, but now you know because we're reading the scripture.
If y'all go out on a Friday night in any city, you're going to see young girls and young dudes. And you ought to see the clothes. The clothes is revealing. Is revealed. The land fall in the whoredom every weekend. Going up on Tuesday.
But the reason why he's telling you that, because he said the land will fall in the whoredom because of that. The land becomes full of wickedness when you got your daughters out here dressed any kind of way, showing everything, not dressed appropriate to the laws. Think about it. If all our women were walking around covered up in dresses, I'm not saying there wouldn't be some brothers out there still trying to get it, but a lot of that will come down because it's a spiritual thing. It's
You know who to go after, the one with the mini skirt on.
Exactly. If you see a woman walking down covered up from head to toe and a pleasantly dressed with fringes on, and then you see right next to her a woman with some dupes on, butt hanging out, who is the man gonna go after?
Yeah, that's all.
She's
like,
inviting.
in school they have dress code.
Exactly.
There was girls walking around like that.
Exactly.
Distracting and.
Because if you didn't have this dress code, our minds are evil. This is what the Lord is telling us. You have to be taught these things. You, as your own mind, won't know to do this type of stuff. You'll just think, oh, it's cool to just walk around like it's hot outside. Why not throw on some shorts? I mean, that's in an earthly mind. That's logical, right? It's hot, so I'm gonna put on these little shorts. But in God's eyes, He's saying, no, You about to make everybody go to whoredom because you out here with some little bitty shorts on. That don't make no sense. So we have to understand it's not necessarily a physical, it's a spiritual thing that we dealing with. You putting on the proper attire is spiritual. It's gonna
You helping all
you
of them.
helping everybody out. You making sure these men ain't lusting after your body, right?
You know how you would see like those little wrestling attires and stuff? Like, well, they'll be all.
Exactly. Look at
I
track
think
track
one
and
day,
field.
I think it was over in the state. I think it was when I was riding with Monica. There was some girl running. She had that on and her butt was all hanging out and stuff.
Hey, that's the thing now. These, I'm glad you
Tights.
brought that up.
That's
They call it workout
gear.
gear. Yeah, right, man. Y'all been to a gym before?
It's basically just another layer of skin. That's
If
all.
you ain't
can
praying,
see
you'll
everything.
lose yourself in the gym, man.
You can see it all.
Her butt was.
So
For no reason, just hanging out.
So again, this is our heritage.
Oh,
This is
But like,
he gave us
running
these
straight
things.
in the street though. Not in the street, but like on the sidewalk. She was just like,
Right. But you see that, but that's normal is what I'm saying. That's become the norm. The Lord said we should not be seeing each other's nakedness, right? So these things we have to take into consideration. So anyway, let's get back to so let's go to Leviticus 21:5. Male grooming. When you guys get old enough, this is what's gonna be expected of you. Even now though. He says they shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. So
wait. Say if you lose your hair like naturally.
that's
is that
fine.
okay?
He said, what did he say? They shall not make baldness.
Or
If your hair
shave.
goes bald,
Or
that's different.
shave off. It says shave off.
You're not supposed to get the Michael Jordan. Go to the barbershop and say, give me the Jordan special.
This is the corners of your bed. You don't supposed to shave these off and just leave this here.
And so,
You
young
gotta
people,
have a beard.
this is God giving you something spiritual again. A beard, first of all, is a manly badge. That's how he calls us the Lions of Judah, right? How do you tell a male lion from a female lion? How can you tell? What?
A male lion will have hair around his
Right?
neck.
He has they call it a mane, right? The mane on it. It's a beard. That's how you can tell. If we walk around bald faced, just like women, you basically like. That's why, in a sense, you remember in slavery, they used to make the men shave, and what did they call it? Boy. You look like a little boy. You're a grown man, but they calling you boy. This is part of the
You don't see how weird
they.
black people look, grown men with the bald mouth? We call
If
it the
you
rape
can grow
face. We call it the rape face.
Exactly. So if you can grow your beard out, however it can grow, you're supposed to let it grow. And you're not supposed to make balls in your head. These are laws. This is the first 5 books of the Bible. These are all the laws.
Before
this
I
is the
knew
law.
that, I used to shave my mustache. Monica look at me crazy when I have all this bald.
Even when he shaves his beard.
They used
I
to make
guess-
me shave it when I worked in Houston for Terminal.
I was trying to grow.
They made us
out,
shave.
and then my
Let
barber.
it move.
So again, these are this heritage, this is laws that he gave us. Exodus 31, bless you, and 13. Almost done. Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am the Lord that does sanctify you. So the Sabbaths that he gave us, the
Who
weekly
Sabbath
Sabbath,
is for?
Sabbath is the
Who is it for? Prove it. Prove the Sabbath is for us.
according to that verse. What did he say?
Read it and tell me where it says that the Sabbath is for us. It says,
Oh, yeah.
Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am the Lord that do sanctify you. So that's why you don't see no Asians keeping the Sabbath, no white people keeping the Sabbath, whatever nation besides the Israelites. We the ones that's commanded to come together every weekend like this to learn the words of God.
So you keeping this as a sign, like you said. This is letting you identify who the real Israelites are. And not just the weekly Sabbath, he said my Sabbath. So we talking about high Sabbath, holy Sabbath, the feast days. We're supposed to keep these days. This is a sign throughout our generation. This is our heritage again. That's what we're talking about. Got to be proud of that thing. And he said that I am the Lord that does sanctify you. Remember, we're holy.
Why we teaching y'all this?
So we can pass it on to our
To y'all kids, exactly. Now y'all kids. You commanded. This is a part of your what? What's the word we've been saying all the day?
Heritage.
Yeah, heritage. This is a part of your heritage. We're learning what black people and Mexicans and Native Americans have that was taken away from us a long time ago.
So now, we're going to go to Exodus 22 and 16. So, boys, listen up. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, you know what it means to be not betrothed?
No, sir.
That means you're not engaged to the woman's not engaged to nobody.
You know what engaged
You know what
means?
entice means? Entice a maid?
Like, or a girl.
You promised to marry her, this lady. This is going to be my wife one day, this lady.
So it says, if a man entice a maid, and to entice a maid basically means in Ebonics terms, you spitting game. You want to court this lady. If you entice a maid that's not betrothed, she's not married, because first of all, you ain't supposed to be talking to no married woman, right? And lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. That's the law. So there's no such thing as a one-night stand, a girlfriend, boyfriend. I'm going to hit that while I'm with her, and then I'm done with her. I'm going to go to the next girl, to the next girl, to the next girl. That's not according to the Bible. So we're teaching y'all because y'all are still young, right?
For these grown people.
For us that grew up in the world, a lot of us wasn't told that. We was told, go ahead and try what you want to. Just until you find the one you want. Test that out first. But that's not according to God. He said if you're going to talk to a woman and you're going to lie down with that woman, she shall surely be your wife. You're supposed to make that woman your wife.
I'm going to tell y'all what the word endow means. First of all, it was supposed to be a marriage. Y'all supposed to go to this wedding chamber, do it the right way. But y'all just went on ahead and, because once you have sex, that consummate the marriage. That's the official, it's like signing the document. Ta-da, you just signed the document. They didn't even go through none of the right procedures. They just went ahead and did whatever.
So now you're law for that.
So now he said you got to endow her. You got to go to her dad and give him money because you can shame him by not going through the official ceremony. That's for the grown people. The word when you see the words endow.
But my mom's dad had came over, so I met him for the first time. It was like on spring break. So
Your granddad?
yeah. So when I was talking to him, like he was like, "How you doing?" And then I was like, "Good." 'Cause I met him before. Then I was like, "You got a girlfriend?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got one." And then he was like, "You know, it's okay to be have more than one girlfriend." And then my cousin in the back, dude, was like, "No," and I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "It's okay to be a player," and I was like, "No, I don't want to be no player."
You see what I'm saying? So that's normal.
To his wicked
So
ass.
that's normal to the
Excuse
world
me.
today. to people today, that's normal. It's okay to go ahead and try out while you're young. That's what they tell you. While you're young, because once you get married, that's it, right? Get it all out the way. But that ain't according to God. We're supposed to be holy. This is our temple. We're supposed to make sure
Why
we
the
treat it that way.
diseases in the world today? Because everybody just trying on
Exactly.
like a pair of shoes.
So that's something that y'all, as y'all go through y'all walk, cause y'all young and y'all in the football and about to start getting more attention. These girls, some girls that's not in the word that's gonna try to entice you. Forget you trying to entice them. They're gonna try to entice you, and you don't want to fall for that.
Y'all gonna learn. There's gonna be more girls that want you just because y'all don't want them. Or y'all doing things different than the other kid. That make you more, I don't know if it's a word,
Desirable.
desirable.
Hebrews 13, verse 4. I think this is the last verse. So it says marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. So did he say boyfriend and girlfriend is honorable and all?
No.
He said marriage is honorable. That means that's respectable. That's acceptable to God.
You did it his
You
way.
did it the right way. You're married, and the bed is undefiled. What you do with that woman, your wife, you're not defiling yourself. 'Cause that's your wife. That's what you're gonna strive for is marriage.
Y'all can
You
have
don't wanna-
30 kids if y'all want.
Exactly.
Wait, so we can't have girlfriends?
You're not supposed to be having sex.
Oh,
You-
oh.
All that sexual stuff, leave it alone, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I mean, you first of all, how old are you? 12, right? Do you have a job? Can you take care of a woman? There's laws that say if you were a woman, you're supposed to be able to take care of her, provide for that woman, provide for your family. If you can't do that, you're not in no position to be nobody's quote unquote boyfriend or anything like that, really. So you need to focus on what? Grades, getting through school, focus on the stuff that your parents teach you and tell you to do around the house, that type of stuff. That's what you need to focus on.
Y'all will be surprised how many women, once y'all get older, that's, y'all can have y'all pick a women. If y'all do the right thing, man.
Yeah, like.
Get you
like,
the
Right now, when you're
Well,
young, you just I want a girl, I want a girlfriend, I want a girlfriend.
But why do you want that? Because you see that on TV.
TV.
You see it in the video. You see these lovely. I mean, you're a man. You're a
Put
boy.
it all in your face
But
every
like
day.
when Phil said, like we were supposed to be like focusing on my grades, like
Right.
I had like a bad experience with that. Like last year when I was dating Nadia, I was too focused on her and stuff, and then
Exactly.
my grades started to drop.
That's why the women have an important role.
Lots of
That's-
laughing at.
But listen, that's
Like
why the
you
women
idiot.
have an important role, right?
She's a freak. That's
For
what
real.
she tell you. You let her freak your tight shoes out of your grades, though. Everybody in school have.
But
no,
hey,
but I
it's
was
the
too
same
like
thing that happened
focused on her.
in,
I was
the
too
drink-
focused on her. That's what
Yeah.
happened.
But think of the story of Adam and Eve, right? What happened? Who ate that apple first? Or who did with Eve, right? And she enticed Adam to do it, and he did it. Women have an important
That's a
role.
good
They
thing I broke up with her though. 'Cause I told
Okay,
her that.
all right,
well,
chill.
But you got back together with them.
Yeah, on the summer. Not,
don't
not
love her.
Listen, the
school.
point is, and I'm glad you identified your fault. Now you can change that. Don't let no woman
Entice you, man.
control what you should be doing. Don't let them boggle your mind. King Solomon. So we just said Adam and Eve. King Solomon sinned by these things. He started marrying and being with all these different women, and they were actually not even Israelites. They were just women of other nations also, and he lost the kingdom behind that. So a woman can cause you to lose it all, man. What do you see men out here doing? They,
You know what I mean?
they get
People
their
in
check and they spend money on the weekends trying to impress women.
You know how many men are in the grave right now, but one, if them bones can stand up and talk, they'll tell you the story. Two people shooting at each other
over a girl.
over this same freak while they die and the other person in jail. One
Now she
dead
on
and
to the
one
next.
dead. Yeah, she going off to the next man.
Don't fall for that is what I'm saying. And for the women, it's saying keep yourself holy because it's a big thing. Y'all got a big responsibility, man. Y'all got
It's
power in y'all stuff,
Let's
man.
go for the women too. But we ain't got no women in here like everybody with the women take it. But y'all don't fall for no man with the nice car with the smooth words or something like that, man.
Oh yeah, like
Once our daughters get of age, I mean,
You
we
don't
tell them
know
that now,
what, you
but
don't
as
know
they
what
get
he
older, we
thinking
tell
in
them
the
the
back of
same
his
thing.
mind. As soon as he get it, you might not never hear from him ever again, man. Just
Try
like-
every spirit. Try every person that you meet.
that's
Try
what
that
my
spirit.
mom
Make sure see if they of the
Hey,
of
don't say
God,
that out loud.
if they of the word. You could tell a person by their actions, how they dress, how they walk. You could tell what type of person they are. So if you read the scriptures and know what to look for, then you'll know. All right, now
It'll
I
be
can't
your
mess with
defense
that
from
woman.
these wicked girls and wicked men that's out in
All
the
she
world.
trying to do is get my money. All
Look how
she
she
trying to do-
dressing. She trying to entice me with that.
Yeah.
Look how he don't really care about me.
So again, this is a heritage. This is what the Lord gave us. These are laws, statutes, commandments. Everything that we read is part of our heritage. This is what separates us from the world. Because in the world, the opposite of what we just read is normal. That's good to them. They made evil good and made good evil. Now you're looked at as a weirdo if you don't have multiple girlfriends or multiple sex partners or this, that, and the other. You're looked at as a weirdo. But that's okay.
You
You're living
righteous
under
in God, eye.
You're righteous.
And you other people looking at you as an example.
Exactly.
If he can do it, what?
Then I can do it. So, all praises and shalom, Israel.